Good evening, everyone. It's 6 o'clock p.m. on Wednesday, April 22nd, 2026. And I'd like to begin the regular workshop for the Lake City Board of Trustees. Our first item this evening is to discuss the results of the April 7th, 2026 municipal election. Guess I hand that off to the election.
Diane and I did certify the election on the 16th. So the judges came back in, they added in, we had 6 ballots that had been held in reserve. We did have 4 signature discrepancies. We did not get any of those discrepancy letters back from those 4 voters. So the final tally of votes was 206 ballots cast. We did have Dave Roberts got 124 votes and Jody Lindsay got 81 for the spots of mayor. So Dave Roberts was elected as mayor to serve a 4-year term. We had 4 trustee spots open. We had 3 on the ballot. Kaylin Trevisano got 151 votes. Henry E. Woods got 136 votes, and Nathan E. Weiss got 141 votes. So all 3 are elected as trustees to serve 4-year terms.
Okay. Anybody have questions or comments?
With the 4th position, that would have been a 2-year.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so had there been 4 people running, whoever would have gotten the lowest votes would have had that 2-year.
2-year. Okay.
But there will still be that vacancy.
Okay. Any questions on anything? Okay, our next item is to discuss the sheriff IGA. I don't know if you guys took the time and read Lex shared the communications that have gotten back and forth. Yeah, it's quite a read.
Thank you, Lex, right? For giving them the question.
Lex, you want to explain where things are at?
Yeah, so if the town permits the enforcement of county laws within town boundaries, then the county insurance would cover those laws, especially if they're rooted in state statutes. However, it did come to our attention that the OHV ordinance, because the state doesn't define an OHV as a motor vehicle, then that is something that where the county OHV ordinance wouldn't be able to enforce that within town boundaries. There was only the DA got weighed in today on it, and also if it was a DUI or reckless driving, that part of the model traffic code would still apply to the OHVs. However, for even speeding or running a stop sign, that would all be something that would be enforced under the OHV ordinance. But Dan, that's just I did forward you that email that the DA had sent over. I don't know if you had a chance to look at that.
I did read that, and yeah, you're accurate in your recital of it.
Yeah, and so, and I did point out that in the past that an OHV running a stop sign, I've seen it written into the Lake City ordinance, the Lake City model traffic code, the Hinsdale County model traffic code, but then ultimately that just wouldn't be enforceable in court because of that. And so if with the sheriff IGA, we can still have the county laws apply within town, which we kind of really need to let them know which ones, because they're going to have to amend their ordinances to do that. And so I would think, for the sake of brevity and to try to get something done, what we could do is we could have them do the model traffic code, their animal ordinance, which I had included in your packet as an example. They asked, is this something you want to have enforced within the town? And the fire restrictions. And then for the OHV ordinance, if that is something that the board wants, that the town expects that to be enforced, I would propose that we can include that. That's the only town ordinance that they would enforce, and that they would be providing a part-time off-highway vehicle enforcement officer, which actually says that in our code and in the county ordinance. It talks about an off-highway law enforcement officer. And so that way we would only be paying the part-time liability insurance for law enforcement, And that way we're also getting enforcement of the OHV ordinance within town.
With that, is it a specific deputy that would has to be the part-time? Because if it rotates,
I don't think it has to be a specific deputy. It's just that at least like a part-time, a deputy or multiple deputies, whoever's on duty would be at least part of the time enforcing the OHV order.
Whenever they stop one.
Yeah, and that's really for the insurance companies to figure out on their own. The county insurance, the town insurance, they would get together and figure out what, how that would work out if if we were getting sued over an OHV ordinance being enforced.
So, I don't know why, explain to me again why we have to do this?
Yeah.
It seems like it would invalidate some of the town ordinances, like the dog ordinance that we have is different than the county dog ordinance.
I mean, did you read the county ordinance? Did you read the animal ordinance that I included in your packet that includes dog licensing and having dogs on leash?
It's different than the town.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, I mean, a part of that original argument was that it's never been classically enforced, that they just we're not dog catchers, is what previous sheriffs have said,
Well, they're
including the current one.
do it again anyway, are they?
Yeah, I mean, but again, that's to say, if we just need to know what language to have in the resolution, which there's a copy of that. And the county needs to know which of their ordinances they're amending to apply within town.
I think we should keep our own dog ordinance.
It doesn't necessarily remove our ordinance. It's just that the one that the law enforcement will enforce is the county's, not ours.
So we'll keep ours, Henry.
What's the major difference between the two? I read the counties today and, I've been told this straight up. Now, the sheriff's office, we're not dog catchers, and so we're not going to enforce it. And in fact, I've talked with Gabe about that, and he said, yeah, they're not really enforced, but it's still on the books,
Yeah.
But
yeah.
technically, when you read theirs, if anybody read it, every single dog is supposed to be wearing a tag and proof of their rabies shots and all that stuff, but I haven't seen that happen. I was talking with Lex earlier, I'd be interested to know how many dog tickets were written in the past 10 years.
Yeah, I would too.
then there's a lease.
Yeah, there is a vision.
Yeah. I mean,
I think, the best way to deal with that one is, I agree with Dan, is that we ask them to enforce the county one and we keep ours on the books. If that's a legal way to go about that.
I mean, for now, do we just say the model traffic code, the fire ban, or the fire restrictions, and then the animal ordinance, and just leave it at that? And just, we can say in there, whatever else that, we can kind of leave it open so that it can be changed later if we need it to be. And then we will include that the town OHB ordinance would be enforced, and see if they agree to having this part-time OHB enforcement officer as the language in there, so that we get the part-time liability insurance. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that way we can get this kind of wrapped up and moving
At
forward.
least we're saying
And then we're done till the end of the year, and then at the end of the year, we can see how things played out,
Right.
what kind of staffing they have, and negotiate a new one for next year.
and we're being good keepers of the taxpayer money. Yes.
Yep, I agree with that.
Okay.
But I have a question.
I will, just for the fun of it, I'll go ahead and read off this.
Hey, I haven't done it yet.
On the dog thing, the animal ordinances, because the major difference would be,
I'm confused, and I can get this answer later. But the reason the OHV ordinances were created was because OHVs are not defined as motor vehicles, and those laws couldn't be enforced. So the ordinances were created and put into play so that they could enforce them, so that they could enforce stop signs, speed, reckless driving, all the goodies.
That's true.
So I don't understand that
Because their insurance, like if it's related to state statute, like something that's in, that state statute says that it has to be enforced. If there's no state statute reflection or Dan, help me with the words here.
Yeah, so there's a grant of authority that expressly allows the county to, well, us to submit to the county's jurisdiction and enforcement of the county's model traffic code. And then it lists a couple other things that mostly are rooted in state statute. The exception, the one that the county's attorney and I could not find anything for, is the OHV. And that's probably because it was contemplated or established well after the kind of jurisdictional statute. So I think we're still trying to work on finding it. Most of the violations that you're going to see with OHVs, other than running a stop sign or something, you're going to have multiple ways that they could cite them, whether it's a noise violation or, something. The other thing is, if they're breaking the law in town, there's a good chance that they're going to be out in the county and subject to the county's jurisdiction. So those people are going to be the ones that are causing problems, are not going to just find safe haven in the town. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yes, but I worry like child restraint, helmets, yeah. Things like that need to be addressed. That they need to be addressed when they're discovered. You can't, what are you gonna do? Follow people out of town and then stop them?
Yeah, no. I don't know how the sheriff wants to do that. I'm sure that there's some kind of reason that he could pull them over and say, the law says you have to have your child restrained, and if you're in the county doing this, this is this ticket or whatever it is.
Yeah. So that's why I would say that would be the only town ordinance, like at least the way this IGA is being written, that the only town ordinance to being enforced would be the OHB ordinance, and it would be for a part-time OHB enforcement officer.
Okay.
And if I remember correctly, ours mirrors the county's, all
It does.
except for the
Hours of
hours
operation.
of operation.
Right.
That's correct.
Okay.
And where's positive the county doesn't have to designate a specific deputy to be the off-highway?
If it applies, maybe that is something to ask, but that has always been there, and I don't know if anyone's ever been the official OHB enforcement officer, but it's always been in the code,
Yes.
and that may change from day to day, So I don't know how the insurance wants to work that out, or if that language is problematic, but I guess we can figure that out.
Yeah.
But I had read through them today and saw that, and I thought, well, maybe that's a solution.
It seems like a designation
Right,
to the enforcement work, an officer,
right,
not just, well, you can call yourself that when you put that hat on,
right.
per se.
Well, and to a point, they did have one when they had Mark in the chief, and his job was to patrol the loop.
The Alpine Ranger, yeah.
Yeah, and then he would come into town and enforce, the OHV stuff if they were messing up in town. So technically there was an officer, but I'm with Landon, just some clarity that it doesn't have to be that person.
Yeah.
That we're just coming, that the sheriff's office is going to enforce that.
I could see that getting like, legality wise, if it wasn't a specific person writing the ticket and somebody has an attorney, then it's a loss in revenue, like with attorney fees and everything that comes with that.
Yeah,
It's based on definitions.
right. Yeah, go Dan, what do you got?
Yeah, the courts are going to be pretty hesitant to award attorney's fees. I think really what you'd be risking there is dismissal on a technicality of the ticket. But I do see your point, and we can look into that and follow up with you.
Yeah, and there's some things with the way the citations are written already where they're really difficult to actually enforce in court anyway, and multiples have been thrown out anyway. So, and that is a whole nother bag of issues that we need to work through. But okay. Okay, so for now, we'll look at the model traffic code, the animal ordinance, and the fire restrictions for now that the county will enforce in town, and then the town OHV ordinance, and we'll propose a part-time deputy for the enforcement of that. Everybody good with that?
Yeah, I'm not gonna repeat what you said. But yeah, I hear you.
Okay, all right, then that ends that discussion. Yeah. It's not.
Because we have that draft.
Oh, the resolution, but that was what it would look like. Right now, it just mentions model traffic code and anything else that
Okay.
would be applicable, but
But we're still looking at the resolution, right?
yeah, but it would help the county a lot to know which ones they got to change. So if we just say those three and then
Right.
we'll work out the OHP stuff.
Okay. Everybody good with that?
Mhm.
Okay, we'll move on. Our next item is discuss the wildfire resiliency.
On the resolution, which was is,
I think we kind of parlayed from the IGA into that resolution. Most of the discussion was about the resolution. Sorry, do you want to, do you have more detail on it?
there's one word correction, sorry.
Oh, what is that word, Diane?
Oh, in the resolution.
Section 1, under the therefore, section 1, it reads, the Board of Trustees of the Town of Lake City hereby finds it is in the best interest of the public health, safety, and welfare. So the Board of Trustees consents to the application of county and state laws, not to consents. You see it?
Just get rid of the two.
Yeah, the TO before consent.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm gonna start sending these to you in advance.
That's why we call our trustee spell check.
Well, that was a spell check, that was grammar check.
No, she covers it all.
All right. Thank you, Diane.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. I didn't mean to skip that item. I felt like we kind of.
We did. It was all combined.
Sorry.
Okay. Now we will move on to discuss the wildfire resiliency code. How many trustees read that whole thing? It's some good reading.
A lot of it, yeah.
And we had talked about this in a prior meeting. And it's, yeah, we were looking for Gabe's guidance on that. But it's also, if I remember correctly, it's a mandate. It's not. You know,
It is
we don't
a
really have
mandate.
choice in it.
It is a mandate. They are looking, there is some, they're looking at passing a bill that would extend it another year to give communities time to figure it out. But I know y'all had some questions for Gabe in terms of the application or the enforcement of it. So if you want to call Gabe up to the hot seat and y'all can, I mean, last time we were asking Gabe to be here, so.
Well, I think a big part of that was we were interested in Gabe's take on this resiliency code and how much, you know, it's going to take to enforce that. And there's also, well, and there's parts of it that don't apply. It's like new construction or if you're changing something, you know, one of the trustees was questioning, I think it was Trustee Woods, about, oh no, I can't have my fence that butts up against my house. Well, you can't if you take it down. But if you leave it there, then they're not going to make you change that. That's where we kind of had the discussion. You know, we'd like to have some clarification from you.
Yeah, Gabe, we come up to the hot seat.
There's really no clarity, you know. It's, our county attorney's working on this as well right now. This whole town burns. So it's down. There's no way we're taking that back. We're like 200 years behind schedule. The fire proofing
Hushy.
on that. I mean, sure. You want to do some fireproof wood or something like that? Have at her. You want to start fireproofing your building? Sure. You might be the only one left standing, but ultimately, I mean, I fought fires in California for a couple years and it's has no mercy. You get 75, 80 mile per hour, 50 mile per hour winds. Fire coming through this town. It's just gonna be what it is. There's no way you can do that thing. You're gonna make that thing fire resilient code like approved, like no, that's not gonna happen. The rest of the street, I mean, you can go the whole town. There's not really much you can do, you know. New builds, we can do some stuff. It's not cheap though, you know, to get fire rated wood for your entire house.
Right.
And to get windows that are fire rated for 20-minute burn times and stuff, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Does that affect the historical society's code and all their, you know?
They're exempt.
No, there is an
I
exemption
mean, we can,
process in that. There is an
The
exemption.
the Coffin's house, they're going, you know, their code, they're like running like 2026 code right now, that house.
Yeah.
Cause they can, but that's,
Uh,
we're just lucky that they didn't burn half the town down when they burned that house up, because we had no wind that day. That could have went right on down. So, yeah, that was a big boy fire. It's just the embers that fly so far,
Yeah.
There's so much to it, like your vents and your, soffits and your decks and fences and roofs and any part of the house is all can catch on fire, and it just takes one ember to get up into a roof and then think you're okay. And then all of a sudden, like, honey, what's that smell? You're like, yeah, the house is burning down right now. So the house was burning. So this.
So based on your knowledge of it though, the state is forcing us, to.
Yeah, at some level, yeah, I would like that. At some
But
level,
you're
we're going to.
applying, where it applies, like somebody's gonna build a new house, now they're forced to follow that. But I also hear what you're saying, all the other old structures, they're gonna burn it up,
They did that fire in California last year.
Yeah.
I think one house stayed up and he had pretty much built his house for that exact moment,
Right.
but didn't save the other 10,000 homes around him,
It was crazy.
thousands and thousands of homes.
And most of
Just
those
one
were
big-
brick and stucco.
One big
Yeah.
inferno that goes right through it. You have no mercy.
Yeah.
I mean, your house might be there, your neighbors might not. And then that's how that all kind of works, kind of like a hurricane, it's like, my house is still standing, man, I'm sorry for your house. It's not even there anymore. So we just, for me, I've always, I remember my wonderful little wife, we were having the flood conversation. I said, I'm not gonna worry about the flood,
Right.
I just, it's not there. But I'm always worried about fires. I'm always worried about fires. Especially this summer, we're like the biggest drought in Colorado's in the western, Colorado in the western of the United States history basically this year. So if it's gonna happen this year, we got a prime candidate to burn things up this year for sure. So
Well, the town's pretty much built out, but, there was discussion about how much is it gonna increase the cost of building, if you follow all of that. And it
So I
can
make
be
your-
cost prohibitive.
I turn your deck into some GUI code official deck. And the rest of your house looks like that.
Right.
What are we doing? This doesn't make sense, This is tough, so I don't think every town, we're not like every town's a Vail or a Telluride or something, that people come in with, $60 billion in their checking account. They don't
So,
care about
I
stuff.
can, definitely see some conflicts here with the historic preservation guidelines that require natural wood materials and
You can get fire retardants, fireproofing wood. It's expensive though. Nothing's cheap about the WUI code. The WUI code's expensive. It's an expensive build. It'll put a couple hundred extra $1,000 into your house to make it fireproof, you think.
So the WUI means wildfire resiliency code is what he's talking about, wildfire code.
Yeah.
And then for the historic preservation specifically, there's a variance procedure in here for for
yeah,
buildings within a historic preservation district. So there is a variance procedure there. One of the other things that, like Dan, I had sent you a question. It was something one of the other managers at the conference told me about, was about the energy code that we're supposed to have adopted by July 1st. And then I looked it up. It said upon any changes to your building code. Well, is adopting the wildfire code a change to our building code, which means we have to change to the energy code of 2021?
I'm still unraveling that mess. And was that Brush that you talked
Yeah.
to?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's been an ongoing conversation. As far as this code goes, I just wanted to make sure that you guys heard the mayor is correct. This is a mandate from the Front Range, and it says you have to adopt this minimum code. Lex, that bill that you and I discussed that was going to postpone the enforcement of this by a year failed. So unfortunately, we're going to have to get this in place by July 1, and the easiest way to do this is what's called adoption by reference, which means you have to notice it twice in the paper and then have a public hearing and you adopt it instead of putting the whole text of the code in your code. It's like the model traffic code. Like we adopted the model traffic code by reference with these changes. So what I'd recommend is we start noticing that for the last meeting in May, and that way it gets adopted and has that 30-day referendum period. So it's ready to go by the end of June. But I don't see a reason to adopt a more strict than necessary. But if you guys do, I'm happy to look into that as well.
They want us to like have a 200 amp service, which is a lot. They want solar ready, which is a lot. They want 2 EV station plug-in vehicle on your property. Mandatory
For the energy code, for the energy
for
code.
the energy code. They want R30 walls, R60 on the lid. I mean, there's a lot going on here. And then we put the movie code on top of that. I mean, your $500,000 house probably turned into a $1.6 million house pretty quick like that. And I will never drive an electric car. I do a hybrid for sure. But,
Yeah.
This,
No.
and the mandate, Dan, is absolutely statewide.
yes.
Yes, it is. There's certain places on the map that aren't affected by it, so I guess that's really the only exclusion, but you guys are affected by it and it is statewide.
Any new leaders?
Next to it.
And we'll have an answer about the energy code if that's something we're required to do because they're changing the building code by adopting the wildfire.
Yeah, the building code, we're staying at 215 as long as we can.
Yeah.
Nothing's really changed in the building codes. I still need my basics.
Is the wildfire code not an amendment to the building code?
Yeah, I mean,
I think it is. That's why I thought.
yeah, we're just, like I said, we're just
Yeah.
flying low under the radar right now as long as we can.
Yeah.
Because some state representative comes to my office and bullies me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, cool. Sorry, didn't know. My bad.
I will.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm gonna treat that right now because it's a lot.
Yeah.
Great, go ask President Gunnison.
Our,
They're in the mix right now. They don't like anything they have to do right now.
our state rep in this House district wouldn't do that.
They don't like.
I would like to add one more thing. So like when we go for funding for certain things or we try to build a housing project, they're gonna ask us what codes we've adopted. Where are we at? Are you enforcing the wildfire? You know, did you adopt the energy code? So those questions will come up when we seek funding later. You know,
So how is it going to affect that?
it'll affect them giving us money or not.
No, how is it, the code going to affect our new bill?
It will. Yeah, I don't want to think about that right now, but
Okay,
yeah, not in a cheaper way.
I told Sandy Hines that we're definitely moving in that direction. We could probably have no wiggle room at some point. Right now, we're just kind of hanging and hoping
Yeah.
that.
I heard some other small communities, they're adopting it, but is the code enforcement officer enforcing it? I don't
Okay,
know.
what, I mean, a new home, I'm like, it's kind of like my radon. Dave, you have a new house. You're like, Gabe, I don't really care about radon. I'm like, okay, Dave, I need you to sign some paperwork for me. And that's how I treat that. And I always suggest, can we set this up in case the next homeowner wants it, or maybe you do want it later. And it's pretty easy. And radon's something, one of those things that you can put into your house after you've owned the house 25 years. But that's kind of how I treat some of that stuff like that. We go, and if you live in the forest, I go out there and strongly suggest we trim some trees and cut things up and make it a little more fire protected out there, I mean, that's ultimately their call. They used to go with it. It's not like they don't see it, like, they know fire is a danger, especially out here in the West, so. But as far as building codes, once we do get out to 2015, we're in it like everyone else, for sure. So we'll have to see, but yeah, we're kind of working it, but.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but if you already had your building permit before this is adopted.
You're fine, Landon.
Yeah.
This is grandfather, right?
There's really no grandfather, but yeah, you're okay.
But yeah, from the date of which adoption it went into enforcement, then if that's after in which a building permit has been approved, then it doesn't apply to you. So there should be a rush to building permits now.
Yeah.
Just thinking.
Well,
Anybody that's worked with me for a while knows how much I love mandates.
Yeah, it's nice that we have the attorneys getting on it a little bit. They understand,
Unfunded
you know,
ones.
and I go to meetings all the time about this. This publication here was from 24. It was just actually, this is the beginning of the draft. This is draft and it's pretty much identical what we have now. So it just goes over everything that they're going to be asking, you know, but a lot of, you know, ASTM E84 or UL 723 or ASTM E2768 or there's a lot of the ULs and ASTMs going on as far as the fire protection stuff. So, you know, it's all $75 fire retardant treatment. You can do wood, just like fire retardant wood, which isn't cheap. So it's kind of that kind of deal on that one. But anyways, that's kind of what we got. We're holding tight right now until the government actually comes in and like press me down against my new office. Tells me, Miss McNeese, you will force it. I'm like, okay, I will. And I'll do that. And I will, you know, I always, but again, when we go door to door, I mean, trying to get some junk out of the yard right now. Yeah. I mean, you go tell someone they gotta have their house. Just don't, I worry about my house, so what? There's no fire retardant stuff in my house.
Well, sounds like something we're gonna have to adopt, but we can file it next to the dog ordinances.
Yeah, it'll be next item.
I wish I could take care of the dog ordinance.
And we're gonna have an action item to set a public hearing date for May 20th.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Anything else on that? Thank you, Gabe.
Thanks, you guys. Have a good
Thank you, Gabe.
I know where you're coming from on that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, our next item is discuss Hinsdale County School District Town of Lake City MOU for shelter and mass care facilities. I don't know if you guys read that.
Yes.
It's pretty much common sense. It's something that's been in place
Yeah.
for years.
It just expired, so this is us renewing it for another.
Looks good.
All right.
All right. Our next item is to discuss the county/town housing IGA and independent contractor scope of work to implement the Hinsdale County/town of Lake City housing plan. Copy of that was in this packet. Lex,
Cindy and I have been working on this and have been talking to our consultants and our attorneys, and we got it to the point where we believe this was the one we want to sign, and with the scope of work that's included. At the next meeting, we'll have an action item to approve this. We'll have an action item to pass a resolution to apply for the LPC incentive funding grant money. And the county's already passed a letter of support saying that they're going to give us that incentive funding, or they're going to be a co-applicant with us and combine our incentive funding to fund the phase one of the housing plan, which is to implement it with a consultant. Okay. Any questions about that?
no, I attended the commissioner meeting on that. There was something in there that they weren't happy about. Did we get that corrected?
Yeah, no, this is the one that Sandy sent back. It was just talking about future funding for like grant matches and stuff, which they,
Right.
they just wanted to, let's get this through this and then we'll see how that plays out and what's available.
Right. Well,
So-
we said that, it's a preliminary start, and as we move through the project, we can always change what
Yeah.
IGA is needed.
Yeah.
So, okay. Any trustees have any questions or comments on that? Okay, next is discuss the Colorado 150 US 250 celebration.
So in your packets, the one that we sent out again, that was updated. You have a list of things that Christina and Tina and I and the rest of the staff at some point just talked about it briefly, but we were kind of brainstorming on different events and things that, maybe we could have. So, Phil Burton did sign up to be the MC. I guess I didn't print out the updated version. The chamber will provide us the PA system, and I believe Dirt had originally said from 1 to 4 p.m., but I think they're entertaining the idea to have the beer garden to 5 p.m. What am I missing? And the Lakeport Valley Conservancy will have a booth and do a raffle for a mountain bike.
And we are reaching out to all the other kind of volunteer organization, nonprofit organizations that we can think of around town, just to ask them if they want to have some type of a booth, whether they have some type of demonstration or just kind of get their name out. So in general, trying to kind of bring as much as a community in as we can.
Yeah, no, I love the list. I think you did a great job. Thanks for putting turkey legs on there.
Yeah, well, brainstorming ideas.
Yeah, we're thinking maybe a community potluck, and we kind of advertise that and see if we can't bring back an old Lake City tradition.
Yeah, no, I think it's looking great. I think it's fun. It's, I think we learned from the town's 150th, and this will be even better, and I think it'd be great.
I'll talk to you about the turkey legs.
So
That's not as fun as it sounds for
Well,
the people that have to do it.
we can't possibly do a cornhole tournament, cakewalk, potato sack race, three-legged race, and like a hay ride. So I wanted y'all to possibly discuss it, see which one stood out most and fit the character of the community. Y'all been around a lot longer than we have. And so I wanted y'all to.
I would just share, I think for the kids and some folks, the hayride would be fun. One of my feelings on that is because it's a celebration of 250 years, hayrides were pretty much a taxi. And so that could be fun. I think the cornhole could be a lot of fun with a little better organization and some prizes and giving people a heads up. I don't know how much we want to copy the 4th of July festivities with the three-legged races.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of redoing those. And so I kind of like the idea that they're different events than 4th of July. That's my take on it. Landon?
What about our Western gun shooters?
They're
They're gonna
they're
come.
confirmed.
Yeah, they're going to be doing it over here that Saturday at 1 p.m.
In our museum.
So
Oh yeah, and then the museum will have their own little bit up there as
We're gonna
well.
have a strict 150, 250 display,
Yeah,
and that's our grand. Don't.
and the showing of the Carly 311 too, right?
211.
Yeah, 211.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it should be there.
So then they're going to be the unveiling of the car 211.
Right on.
So yeah. All right. So nothing that the 4th of July is doing. We want to do those things. And we're thinking about we're for prizes. We're going to do some of the Town of Lake City swag that we have, like the sweaters and T-shirts and stuff. And then maybe if businesses wanted to donate, a gift card or something to win in the competitions. If that's okay with y'all too, if we organize that.
No, and I think it's a good marketing thing too. And Phil Burton's so good at emceeing. And when you win a prize, you make sure to give that business a plug for, their contributions into that.
Yeah.
Rusty Woods, you have your hand up?
so Linda Jacket is gonna do a beading demonstration. That either one or two, and Ingrid Burnett is working it out with her.
Like at Lake City Arts.
And probably,
Okay. All right. Okay. Did anybody get a hold? I guess George Hurd or Buffy wouldn't be able to do the mining demo.
Diane had said that.
No.
Yeah, there's nothing in that they can figure out because there's only two people that, and the mine will be open that day. And there's no one else to do it.
And we're thinking about seeing if anybody was interested in doing a bait sale there, maybe.
Well, I think it's a great idea to offer to all the nonprofits and.
Yeah,
they can
yeah,
do their own
and
kind of
yeah,
fundraising
mention
if they
that.
want to sell stuff. Good idea.
Did you have your hand up a minute ago, Landon?
No.
No, I think it's coming on great. Luckily, it's still a ways out, so if anybody has any other gigantic ideas, feel free to pass that on to staff.
this looks good, Lex.
What about a time capsule?
I like that idea for some reason. I think it's neat. Landon had told us that he could get one reasonably, and he knew a little bit about it. We were gonna do one for the town, and then that got dropped, but I like the idea. It'd be fun.
So then, and maybe we do see, I don't know, like if the school wanted to have the students maybe do a little postcard of like, hey, you know, you want to share a message to the future, or if you want to submit a picture or something. I don't know. I don't know what to put in the time capsule.
Well, we got time to figure that out.
Okay.
For now, I like the idea of it, but it's
Okay.
also, yeah, put me in it.
All right, so we're gonna move forward with as much of this as we can and come back to you. How about that?
Ashley.
All right, is that okay if we just move forward as
Yeah.
much of this as we can and then come back to you?
No, and thank you to the staff, you've done a good job. Thank you, starting and pulling that together, so I think it could be a real fun day. Okay, our next item is discuss updated town clerk and deputy clerk job descriptions.
Yeah, oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, no, I looked them over and it, to me in a nutshell, it's, we're gonna have a staff person at our meetings. Since Lex has been doing both jobs this whole time, I'm excited about that. Christina's here with this evening because Tina can't be, but also the biggest change in my mind, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but is the billing of water and sand and the cell system is gonna be going over to Tina.
Correct, yeah.
To just the utility management stuff from the
Right.
Cassell stuff, and then she'll be the clerk of the board taking minutes and taking notes and doing the minutes for the board. And yeah,
I think it looks good, and I'll just repeat myself that technically you work under the board.
Yeah.
And those are your employees, that's your staff, and you divided that office the way you see fit. And our job is to swear them in and accept them in their positions. But other than that, I think it's great, and I gotta tell you, that office, you're doing a great job.
yeah.
Yeah.
And y'all gonna need to act on the job descriptions because I can't just change them willy-nilly. So at the next meeting, I'm gonna have it as an action item. There's too much going on today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
once you get them nailed out.
Yeah.
Clean, black and white, but anyways, it all makes sense to me.
Awesome.
All right.
Any trustees have any questions or comments on that? No? Okay. Next is review ordinance 2026-4, vacating the alley south of Highway 149 on block 12.
Dan drafted this. I did review it.
Looks
Uh,
good, Dan.
I did not see any spelling or grammar errors, but
That's because I put the wrong highway on there. Lex caught that.
yeah. Oh yeah, I did.
Oh, no.
And then there's an alley underlined, which I just saw, so I'll make sure I change it.
Yeah, Ally is underlined for sure.
But that it should say emphasis added at the end of that, and that's
Oh,
what
it
that means.
Oh, that's what okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
that's
understand
fine, yeah.
the concept now. Okay. So this would vacate the alley, which again, it does have tanks, like gasoline tanks and pumps on it. The city of Evans did have a situation where they had an alley that had gas tanks, I believe that was in it from 1950s or something. Is that right, Dan? And yeah, do you want to tell that story?
Yeah, we were donated some land. Seemed like a really good deal. We picked up the property and found out it had gas tanks under it that needed to be monitored by the EPA, and it ended up having to drill 2 or 3 monitoring wells, and it was a couple $100,000. So, buried gas tanks can be a liability. This is one that we want to do all out in the open, to where when we vacate this, we're being open about it, and that the people who get the property understand that the liability goes with them.
I do want to just ask Jeff just to confirm, because I didn't hear from you, but that you're aware of and accept full responsibility for any kind, for any and all conditions of the alley, whether known or unknown, including but not limited to the existence of underground fuel tanks and related liabilities.
What tanks?
Okay.
Yes, I take full responsibility.
Okay.
Well, as we discussed in our last meeting, this to me is kind of a no-brainer. And something that should have been done 40 years ago.
And as I said, I truthfully thought it was done back in the day, 29 years ago.
Wow. And I know this is an action item this evening, and for the new person, you weren't part of the discussion, but you read everything about that, but yeah.
Oh, God bless you.
Trustee Woods?
Well, I just want to say as a general rule, it's not a good idea for the town to give away any property without receiving something in return. I've been approached by some people involved with the Lake Fork Valley Conservancy that have brought it to my attention that this part of the river right here would, if there was fishing access through that, it would complete the access from the Lake Fork Valley Conservancy property, that's on the other side of the bridge, and our property by the medical center. And so I really want to help Jeff out on this, and I'd be in favor of vacating the alley and giving a 49-year lease on the north half of 8th Street in return for fishing access on the river.
Because he actually owns the lots that are in the river.
Yeah.
So that is what that idea is, that it would.
If you look at the plan, you can see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And I think that, that it would be very beneficial to the town to have fishing access all the way through.
Maybe they had,
Is that bank on that hillside's a vertical wall?
Yeah, but you could still wade through with your waders and fish if there was.
which you can do anyways.
Well, it's on private property.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the rivers and streams are public waterways. So
No.
Until you touch the bottom of the river.
Right.
Yeah.
It's private
Okay.
property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That weird.
You can float.
You can float, but you can't walk.
Anyway, I wanted to bring that
Gotcha.
up. Thank
All
you.
right, no. Thanks for the discussion.
And the H Street runway will be a whole different discussion. So, but that's a wonderful idea, Henry.
Yeah, it's not something we have to address this evening. We're
Right.
just talking about the alley.
Just the alley right now, but that's a great idea. And perhaps we can discuss that at a later date. And we're still waiting. Yeah, anyways, that's another later discussion. There's still some things up in the air about H Street, but that should be cleared up in about a week and a half.
I don't have a problem with that. I don't do where anybody would have a problem. I understand some of the ranchers and all that, where they're out there on their own and private property, but when it's a river running right through the town, as far as I'm concerned, if a visitor or a local wanted to put on waders and walk down that river, I support it.
Well, the property owner might not support it.
Right? Well, that.
And lots of them
Henry brought
don't.
it up.
There's a
We
lot
will
of
address it.
no fishing signs along adjoining actual public lands that run along the river. So it's all well and good to feel that way, but that's not so.
Right, well, it's something we can work towards.
There we go.
There's been quite a bit of issues on fishing and stuff. I've heard some pretty good stories about Vickers Ranch. And, there is public easements through there too, but no, it's good. Henry. It's something we can address and find out the best way to handle it. So thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you.
Okay,
Ordinance looks good.
everybody okay with that ordinance as an action item this evening? Then nothing, we'll move on. Discuss dynamic planning LLC conditional use permit application to allow 2 buildings to contain 8 units for the Lake Fork housing project located at 700 North Hampton Street.
So the dynamic planning is the group that is designing, engineering our housing, Lake Fork housing project. They had gone to planning and zoning for a conditional use permit application that was properly noticed, and there was a public hearing there. There was really just one letter of support, nothing that was opposed to it. And then they made a recommendation that the board of trustees should approve it, but they unanimously approved it as well. And this particular conditional use would allow for the two buildings that are on the east side of that property along the river. If you look at them, they're two big buildings separate, but those actually contain eight units each in the way it's being designed. And our code only allows up to 4 per building. And so this is a conditional use to allow for more than just 4 units per building, like a greater density.
Right.
And so that will be an action item later, but that's how that works. Did y'all have any questions on it?
No, there was a couple other things included in that. One is the lowering of the number of parking spaces required.
That was all, those are variances that the planning and zoning's already approved. They just had put both of their requests in one letter. So it's just the section that says conditional use application,
So tonight's decision is just about the,
conditional use part.
okay.
Yeah, all the variances were already approved by the planning and zoning board of adjustment.
Any trustees have any questions on that? Comments? Hearing none, that wraps up our workshop for this evening. 6:51 PM. And so we will complete our workshop, take a 9-minute break and come back. And let's start this meeting on time at 7. Thank you, everyone. Good evening, everyone. It is 7:00 PM on Wednesday, April 22nd, 2026. And this time I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Lake City Board of Trustees. Please begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Trustee Bruce, it's your turn.
Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Bruce.
Here.
Tripasano.
Here.
Winery.
Here.
Woods.
Here.
Weist. Here. Roberts.
Here. Before we move on, I do want to publicly thank Trustee Lindsay and Trustee Kendall for your time served. It was a pleasure working with you, and don't go too far away. But we really do appreciate your time that you've put in, and good things for the town. So thank you very much to both.
And we will be advertising for letters of interest. So do that. Jody.
Which I will be submitting a letter of interest so I can have my seat back.
Cheers.
All right.
Just fair warning, you know, if you want to start a campaign against me, start now.
I always appreciate a heads up. Okay, sincerely though, thank you. I appreciate anybody who wants to put in their time. Nobody's retired on this, okay. Okay, our first item is swearing in of elected officials. You get to swear at me first.
Yeah.
Yep, on that side. All right. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Dave Roberts,
I, Dave Roberts,
do solemnly swear by the ever-living God
do solemnly swear by the ever-living God
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Colorado
and of the state of Colorado
and the town of Lake City codes and ordinances,
and of the town of Lake City's codes and ordinances,
and faithfully perform the duties of the office of
and will faithfully perform the duties of the office of
town mayor upon which I am about to enter.
town mayor of which I am about to enter.
And sir, if you will please sign your oath right there.
Every time I go by the town office, they want my autograph.
Right? All right, Ms. Chivisano.
next ones?
I'm officially the mayor, so I think I do it now, right, Lex?
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
You want to do it?
No, you by all means.
He does a better job at phrasing these, so if I mess it up, forgive me.
Okay.
I, Kalen Trevisano,
I, Keelan Trevisano,
do solemnly, sincerely, and truly declare
do solemnly, sincerely, and truly declare
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Colorado
and of the state of Colorado
and the town of Lake City
and the town of Lake City,
codes and ordinances,
codes and ordinances,
and faithfully perform the duties of the office of town trustee
and faithfully perform the duties of town trustee
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
All right.
Welcome aboard. Yeah, I misphrased that one, I guess.
Yeah, and make sure you have our sign.
My bad. Nathan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a firefighter as well. I, Nathan Weeks,
I, Nathan Weiss,
do solemnly swear by the ever-living God
do solemnly swear by the ever-living God
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Colorado
and the state of Colorado
and the town of Lake City codes
and the town of Lake City codes
and ordinances,
and ordinances,
and faithfully perform the duties of the office
and faithfully perform the duties of the office
of town trustee
of town trustee
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
I Jesse Kendall. Oh, I'm just kidding.
You have this memorized by now, don't you, Henry?
I think so.
Go ahead. I, Henry Woods,
I, Henry Woods,
do solemnly, sincerely, and truly declare. Do solemnly, sincerely,
sincerely
and truly declare
and truly declare
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Colorado
and of the state of Colorado
and the town of Lake City,
and the town of Lake City,
codes and ordinances,
codes and ordinances,
and faithfully perform the duties of the office of
and faithfully perform the duties of the office of
town trustee
town trustee
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
All right.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome aboard.
At least
All aboard.
when I first got sworn in, I didn't realize it was alphabetical. And so I became the number one vote. When they called for a vote, I was like, wait a minute. I don't even know what I'm doing. And you want me to vote on something?
Yeah.
I was gonna follow somebody else, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we good? We'll move on. My next item is approval of the agenda for the regular meeting, April.
26.
It says 15, but
No, April
22nd.
22nd.
Oh, dang it, I missed that.
Trustee spell check. I'm so disappointed.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the regular meeting for April 22nd, 2026.
Second.
Motion is second. Any
No.
Discussion?
Any discussion? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Bruce,
Yes.
Capsano,
Yes.
Winery,
Yes.
Woods,
Yes.
Weist,
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes. Our next item is a public hearing, so I will now open the public hearing. The purpose for is to regarding Summit Wing House LLC liquor license application to operate a hotel and restaurant liquor business at 138 Bluff Street, Lake City, Colorado, 81235. And our
Mayor,
newest, yes, sir?
I don't mean to interrupt, but I believe we have a new council member that might not be aware of potential conflicts and laws like that. So can I go ahead and give a quick disclaimer?
Thank you. And I was just gonna hit that, because this involves you, you'll have to recuse yourself from the discussion and the action item. And so on that note, you'll have to leave the room.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, she doesn't. Yeah. I mean, she can, or she can just not speak, but.
Anything that you have an interest in monetarily, or if there's an appearance that you might gain from it, it's up to you to one, disclose that, and two, recuse yourself. And then you want to not influence the remaining people any way of voting. And the easiest way to do that is to leave the room. You don't absolutely have to. It's up to you, but we usually recommend that happen. I'm sorry to throw you right into the fire here. You can get my phone number from Lex or Christina or whoever, and give me a call. We can go over all this. I just want to make sure we're doing things right.
Yep. And thanks for clarifying that in the past. We've always had the people leave the room. Karen, before you leave.
Yeah.
Just for legality, would you please state that you have a stake in this? And so
Yes.
you are recusing yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the owners of the business.
And you're officially recusing yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
Using myself.
All right, perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless her.
Thank you, Dan. I actually remembered that she needed to do that, Dan.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Thank you for that. I know you're on top of
No,
it.
no, that's why you're here. I'm glad to know you always have my back. Okay, public hearing is now open. Anybody from the public here that has any comments, questions in regards to the issuance of this liquor license? Anybody in Zoom land? Raise your hand or turn on your microphone. Being none? Okay. Nobody wants to speak? Then I am gonna officially close the public hearing. And the next item is discussion and possible action to approve Summit Wing House LLC Hotel and Restaurant Liquor License application for 138 Bluff Street, Lake City, Colorado.
And, yep, and the staff will need to go ahead and read something. It needs to say something. Yeah. Sorry.
And I'm gonna hand that off, but I had a smart aleck comment, but I realized it's the type of license, but I didn't know they were doing a hotel.
Hotel and restaurant liquor license. So the foregoing application has been examined and the planned premises, the business to be conducted, and the character of the applicants are satisfactory. We do report that such license, if granted, will meet the reasonable requirements of the neighborhood and the desires of the adult inhabitants, and will comply with the provisions of Title 44, Article 4 or 3 of the Colorado revised statutes and liquor laws. Therefore, it would be staff's recommendation that this application be approved.
Here.
Do you need a motion?
Trustee Woods?
Well, I fully support this and I'd like to make a motion to approve the liquor license for Summit Wing House LLC Hotel and Restaurant Liquor License.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Bruce.
Yes.
Winery,
Yes.
Woods,
Yes.
Weist,
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes. I remember to turn off the video.
Good job.
Sound like a concrete hole.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah, if you'll get hurt, then you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jody. Okay, our next item is the regular meeting minutes from April 1st, 2026. Everybody have a chance to review those?
Waiting on you.
Trustee Spelker.
Oh,
Waiting on you.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from April 1st.
Yep.
2026.
I second.
Motion and second, any discussion? No. Roll call vote, please.
Bruce,
Yes.
Tripsana, in this case, since you weren't there.
Abstain.
Winery,
Yes.
Woods,
Yes.
Weast.
Yeah.
Roberts.
Yes. Next item is, kind of gave us all the EBGBs. Our bills payable for this.
There we go. Thank you.
Trustees have questions or comments about the bills payable?
I have a question on number 7. Is that for the playground?
Oh, yeah, the
Yep.
park capital improvement.
Yes, that would be for the playground, for the beams and the rebar that.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, the majority of these is obviously our wastewater treatment plant project. That is moving along, have been doing drive-bys, seen a lot of action over there, it's looking pretty good. Never thought I'd be so excited about it. Wastewater treatment plant.
His question is, number one, 70% upon shipment and the other 30% due on arrival.
No, upon startup. Is that correct, Joanne? The Airson, the modules, or the
There's the blowers.
blowers, yes.
Think they come through, yeah, I think we had 10% when they were here, and there's another 20% in the interim, it seems like.
Yeah, I think the 20% is due by September after startup.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Do we have enough money?
Yes, yes, we have enough money and we will do a grant and loan reimbursement
ASAP.
by Friday. Yeah.
Well, with that, I make a motion to pay the bills of April 22nd, 2026 in the total amount of $712,596.60.
That's huge.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, no discussion, I'm gonna have a hard time.
Yeah, I would like to just let her know that when y'all approve the bills, if you have any questions on it or concerns or want clarity of what is this for, then this would be the time for that.
Okay.
What do you got?
Is this for the apartment upstairs?
Which one?
35.
35. Yes, it is. To finish up the apartment upstairs, correct.
We have a motion and a second, if everybody's still studying, if you have any discussion, let me know.
That's a lot. One thing I would say is that on, I believe it's 119, this was the guys that usually for the well houses, they kind of go through pumps and through hoses and things for the well houses. I went ahead and had them go ahead and order a couple of them to get us through the rest of the year, probably part of next year, because we do anticipate prices going up over time. So we went ahead and purchased something that we know we're going to end up using in the future.
Perfect. Well,
I like that.
any other discussion or questions? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Bruce,
Yes.
Tripsana, Winery,
Yes.
Woods,
Yes.
Weast,
Yeah.
Roberts.
Yes. Okay, let's keep it down, our bills from here on out. What happened, we were back. What do you want?
Yes.
Okay, next item is citizens' comments on items not on the agenda.
One thing that I think I must have deleted. Oh, never mind. Well, I was gonna ask that we have an addition to the agenda because I forgot to put the Lake City Arts request for the art installation as an action item. Um, which, I mean, I imagine we can wait till May 6th.
Yeah.
And just do it then, but we already passed the approval of the agenda part, so.
And actually, we could have brought that up at instead of the agenda.
Yeah,
Decide if you want to handle it tonight or not.
yeah, okay.
Okay. Any citizens here have any comments for the board? Any citizens on Zoom have any comments? Show your face, turn on your microphone, wave your hand,
Or raise your hand,
raise your hand.
because then they go to the very front.
No one that.
Seeing none? Okay, we'll move on. Next item is committee reports. First one is Lake San Cristobal Water Activity Enterprises, Trustee Wood.
Well, there's not much going on, but except, the water flowing out of the lake. Right now is 40 cubic feet per second. And I hope you all remember about 5 years ago, we were worried about it going over 1,300 cubic feet per second. And, generally it's 500 to 600 this time of year. So 40 is a pretty grim figure. And our annual meeting is on Friday, and it's a Zoom meeting. I can send anybody the link that's interested in attending it by Zoom. And that's about it. Hopefully we get some kind of moisture.
Okay. Yep, anybody that drives by Blue Mesa, you can see how bad it is right now. I'm constantly amazed every time I go by that another vehicle has to drive out there and get stuck. There's a record company in Gunnison making a fortune.
Yeah. Duh, right?
My favorite was watching a guy to go help his friend and got stuck. So there was two of them stuck side by side. Whole different issue. Anyways, I'm not trying to get in the weeds, just making a point about how bad the water situation is. Okay, any questions for Trustee Wood on that? No? Okay. Next item, Gunnison Basin Roundtable. Trustee Wood.
Well, you know, Sharon Dunning has conveniently started doing a report, so I don't have to write up a report, and it was emailed to you guys at the end of March. And if anybody has any questions about the Gunnison Basin Roundtable, I'd be glad to answer them. I hope you all saw that report that Sharon Dunning did.
Yeah, got it. Okay, any questions? Our next one is the Historic Preservation Commission, Mr. Fox.
This is a catch up from meetings earlier in the year, and the last meeting we had was the 7th of April, where we had a lot of things that we dealt with. But actually, from the beginning of the year, the first thing that we dealt with was a shed at the Summit Wing food truck place. Is that going in?
No,
It's not going to go in.
no.
Okay, so that's you have other things to do. Yeah, okay. We approved. The fire department asked for approval for some replacement of the big doors that the fire engines go in. They needed a little bit bigger ones. That wasn't a problem. difficult one through the spring here, dealing with the rights plans for the property that they bought, the McDonald Rock House on Henson Street, where the first proposals that they made pretty much challenged the way we do things here. It caused us some problems in how things are dealt with. Just so you guys know, Lake City is one of, I think, only 2 or 3 towns in the state that doesn't have a staff person on the town that has that is the communication person with people that apply for that want to apply for COAs and so on. So what we end up doing on the Historic Preservation Commission is assigning a 2-person subcommittee to have initial communication with people about projects that they are planning to submit for COA approval and so on. And what that means is we go against the ex parte communication, I don't know what rules or regulations or whatever of the state, in that members of the commission are communicating with those individuals. It would be much better to have somebody from the town have those communications. And in this particular case, so that means that there's a 2 people on the commission are having initial talks with people and trying to give some idea what's appropriate and what's not. But we can't sit there and say to them, no, you can't do this, and so on. That's something for the full board to decide on. So I think we made things a little bit difficult for the rights in the way it turned out. We did get them hooked up with a professional historic preservation architect who unfortunately didn't think about enough of what our design guidelines were and so on, and that kind of sent things off track a bit. Anyway, to make a long story short, the initial idea that they wanted to make a large addition onto that small rock house there, and it just was not appropriate according to our guidelines and so on. And we ended up bringing up this case when we went to the Saving Places Conference in Denver and discussed it with many people there. And in the end, I mean, the rights, they could see the writing on the wall to a certain extent. They decided not to do that and have subsequently put in a application for a new separate building residence just to the south of that. And to get ahead of myself on my list here, but that was approved at the meeting on April 7th. I don't know what it would be nice. One that you guys need to think about as time goes on is you now have 3 people working at the town here, getting a little bit more training and applying some responsibility for town staff to take some of these responsibilities. So anyway, over the last months, the February meeting dealt with the shed at the food truck that's not going to go up. The March 12th meeting, the fire department doors, the rights initial request was denied. On the 26th of March, we had a workshop with the architectural firm Designs of Tomorrow that are doing the housing project. And so we had a full discussion on input from the Historic Preservation Commission on what was appropriate and what's not. And as I understand, I mean, when will be the public meeting about this?
That will be determined by end of next week.
The next week or so?
Yeah.
But it won't be until May or something like that, right?
It would most likely be towards the end of May,
Okay,
early June.
okay. Anyway, our comments were basically they're on the right road with regard to designs that fulfill the recommendations of the design guidelines that Lake City has. At our 7 April meeting, we approved replacement of windows in all the bedrooms on the Lone Pine Apartments at 220 North Gunnison Avenue. Hiltingsroods own that now, and they're upgrading it to the code with egress type windows. That was approved. We approved at, I guess what's, you call it the Summit Wing Restaurant here now, the old brewery? Is
Now
that
it's called Summit.
just called Summit?
Yeah.
Okay. So at the Summit, there was a request for a new door and a little deck outside that door on the south facing side of that. That was approved. The Wright's new residence construction there on Henson Street was approved. George and Ingrid Eisenheimer requested a new fence. Actually, part of it was approved a couple of years ago for Mark Zexler. And so we reapproved that and they wanted some additional fence. Anyway, that was all approved. At that 7 April meeting, History Colorado representative Dr. Lindsay Flewelling attended that as part of the every 4 years there's an evaluation that the state makes of the Historic Preservation Commission and how we in the town are upholding the so-called certified local government agreement that the town has with the state that in the end provides the town and residents in the town and the historic district with contributing historic buildings to have access to tax credits and grants. And that we passed that with flying colors. So no problem. That's all I have.
Okay. Any trustees have questions or comments?
I guess we're whatever.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, well, it's good to see you. We haven't seen you in a few meetings. I would on just a little side note, just to let you know, and I think it's a good suggestion. As town staff, they've been doing a great job cleaning things up, getting things in order. As a side note, not micromanaging, but Lex and I did have a little discussion. And one of the things I did with a company of mine in the past is make things as user-friendly as possible. And so I'd like to, I'm not telling them to do this, but it would make their life easier, is to come up with kind of a little handout and something on our website that says, so you want to build in the historic district, right? And these are the steps and the requirements and what's going to be needed of you. And I think with anything, so you want to apply for a liquor license. Step one, and you can't cover everything, but at least have it a little bit more user-friendly. And then the contact point of who they need to call, in the staff with those questions. And the board will all discuss this, and I'm not trying to add work to their load. They're already pretty loaded. But I think you make a good point in regards to not having two people from that board having ex parte communications, and that there should be probably a contact point, in our town office for the chair of that committee to speak with that person. Yeah. Just a suggestion. I think it'd make everybody's lives a little bit easier.
Well, I should have mentioned it also, but it relates to what you're talking about right there. We've been having discussions kind of around that, but the website, the town's website, the portion of it that relates to historic preservation needs a full revamping. We've lost our separate, there used to be a website called the Lake City National Historic District. That's gone now. And I mean, one of the things that we're doing is we've gotten from the state digital copies of all the reports on all the properties in town. And we're already discussing how we get that online there so that property owners can download the information about their properties and so on, as well as some other information to people, just like you were saying, is so you're going to build, so you want to change something on your building, these things should be on there.
Yeah, but I remember that there was a big switch over and a bunch of stuff got lost and that whole ball kind of got dropped. I remember we had somebody else that was supposed to be helping with that. But anyways, I'm glad to hear we're working on that. Thank you, town staff. I realize, I know you're very busy, but I think we can get there, not overnight. But
Yeah, that's good.
It needs
Hello.
to be.
It'd take months. It's
I do
like,
No,
agree.
it will take months.
Yeah, well, especially with the accessibility requirements as well.
yeah.
Because all of that's gonna tie in. But it's good news that it's being worked on and won't happen overnight, but I appreciate that and, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, our next item is, from trustee Kendall on the Chamber of Commerce. I guess you're not held to it anymore, but since you're here, would you give us some exiting report?
Chamber, exiting report.
With the chamber, what's going
I don't
on?
really have much to say.
Your last report, your last report for the chamber.
No. Don't have anything.
Okay,
That's
I'll give you the museum, but.
okay, thank you. Next marketing committee, trustee Bruce.
let's see, our consultant, Mission to Market, Andrea Dietz, she's awesome. They've been doing a great job and they're finalizing the visitor's guide. And I did catch 2 things in the draft. Thank you very much. But anyway, it looks great. The photography's beautiful and they've done a great job. So that'll be going to print anytime. And that's really the main thing. Our social media numbers are way up and things are going really well.
Good. Glad to hear that's working out up there. Dave. Yes, it's like September.
Yeah, it's our marketing consultant. So yeah.
Okay, any trustees have any questions for the marketing committee? No? Okay, next item is the MAC committee, also trustee Bruce.
There has not been a meeting.
Okay.
And I'd like to eventually get off of that, if that's okay.
Yeah, when we get to the end of this, I have some comments to make, not all of
Okay.
it.
Yeah, we'll do committee appointments at the next meeting.
Okay, cool.
Okay, next item is dirt, also trustee Bruce.
So the playground install is complete. Have you guys been by?
Yeah.
We're waiting on mulch. Yeah.
And there's a couple of things that got dinged a little bit that they're gonna replace when it was shipped.
Oh, awesome.
You know,
Oh, yeah, it says wood chips will be delivered Monday and once spread, the playground can be opened. Yeah.
are we using the ones from the county?
What? The wood chips?
Are these special wood?
Yes, these are playground rated wood chips.
Okay, I just remember the county, they're trying to give away, all their stuff from the mulching program. Too bad we couldn't use some of that.
Yeah, no.
Why can't we use the wood chips from Steele County?
I mean,
Because we can't.
yeah, we can't. It doesn't meet playground regulations.
Yeah, we have to.
Insurance too. Oh, Jesse may know.
No, but I was just gonna make a comment about the town used to put the wood chips there. And my grandson was playing there and he got a nail in his foot big time because they were grinding up pallets.
Right,
So that's probably why it's not
yeah.
playground rated.
Yeah.
Safety reason, okay.
Okay, so July 3rd will be the dedication and ribbon cutting of the playground. Our funding gap as of today is $16,843, which is amazing. I mean, it's just amazing. Thank you to everybody. I mean, it says if playground donors want to be listed on the sign, They must make donations by May 1st. Wednesday markets start in June. And we're not hosting Celebrate Lake City this year, but we want to thank all organizations and volunteers. Festival sponsors, we need to know by May 1st in order to get you on the poster. And I think that's it.
Thank you. Anybody have questions regarding Derek? It's Mr. Derek.
Leave it here.
All right, next item is Region 10. That's myself. They're going through some changes. Just to let you know, they've cut way back on the numbers of meetings. And so the executive committee is just now going to meet 4 times a year, with possible 2 special meetings a year. And then the full board, I believe, is going to meet 6 times a year. They used to have something every month. They're cutting back on that. The last meeting, in all honesty, was a little bit depressing because it was a lot about state funding that's not there and cuts and different things like that. The loan committee is doing very well. They found some new funding sources. I don't know who they are, but it was the girl that's in charge of that committee had told me, thank you very much for spreading the word. We're working with 3 people from Lake City. And so
Good.
I was glad to hear that. None of the loans have come in front of the board for approval. I don't know, and I don't think I could say even if I did, but I was glad to hear people are taking advantage of that.
Good.
And they were very thankful, and they want to help us. So that part's great. Like Lex just mentioned, I was going to bring up about committee assignments. All the trustees think about that. If you got questions about any of the committees, but I'd like trustees to think about which ones they'd like to serve on. Like Trustee Bruce has been carrying 3 of them. And I do know that Nathan had suggested he has an interest in Region 10, and I think that would be great. And so we'll go through this in the next meeting, but people think about what it is they want to do, and then we can work together to make those committee assignments. And you folks that have been dodging committees.
Who would that be?
I don't know, there's something in my eye. But anyways, no, we'd like to spread that out because, one person shouldn't be having to do 3 of them. And it just makes the workload a little bit reduced on everyone. So we will move into that. And that's pretty much all I have on the Region 10 report. Any questions? I'll let you know, anybody else, but the exact new meeting schedule. Okay, our next is planning and zoning. I don't see anybody here from planning and zoning. Do you have any?
What happened?
Just got, but it went into standby.
Yell at it. Why is it?
Can you touch screen? We got one. We got one.
Yeah, we're having like technical difficulties.
There we go.
There we go. We're back.
The planning and zoning met last month. They did this conditional use permit that y'all are going to be acting upon tonight for the Lake Fork Housing Project. And they were continuing to discuss an ADU ordinance. We do have, planning and zoning does have a meeting tomorrow evening. And we'll be discussing the ADU ordinances further. And I think we're getting close to something where they're going to recommend an ADU ordinance for the Board of Trustees. Oh, yeah, and then Phil Burton's, they're going to be reviewing Phil Burton's lighting ordinance for the Dark Sky Initiative. So they'll be reviewing that too and making a recommendation to the Board of Trustees.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'd like to see that one move forward for sure. Okay, anybody else have any questions or comments about planning and zoning? All right, next, town manager report.
Yeah, so I went to the CCMA conference last week. It was also somber, kind of like the Region 10. The funding is just not there. What funding is available is very highly competitive, and they'll be prioritizing projects where the projects are trying to bring a town into compliance with like state and federal regulations. Like if you got a letter from the EPA, then you're going to take priority in the money that they get.
What about the Eagle Award?
Now, the Eagle Award is our consultant Sarah McLean had nominated us for an Eagle Award for a housing plan. And even if we don't win it, it is a place where developers and like the Department of Housing and the people that fund those kind of projects will all be in one place. And so you will get good exposure and be able to mingle and even start pitching our project to the people that actually build them and fund them. I am planning on going to that. That is on June 11th. And there's actually 2 tickets available for it. Something else I was going to discuss, just see who else is going to go with us. I think Michelle Pierce is thinking about going, and maybe Richard Tilton-Scrooge. So we'll think about it. If that's okay with you guys, it's probably what we'll end up doing. And at the conference too, they were talking about disasters and whatnot, and everyone's concerned about water and fire. And hearing some of the hard lessons learned by other communities really got me thinking. And so we're going to do some training with staff, and then I want to have Sursa give a training for you guys also for what the board's roles and responsibilities are during a disaster, because you kind of shift gears and have to focus on a certain set of decisions when that happens. So I thought that would be very helpful. So Sam's going to give you all some training on that. Anyway, I'm going to look into all the things they suggested and make sure try to put some things in place so that we have some mechanisms that would allow us to respond more effectively and be able to track like time and cost and all that if it ever happened, God forbid. On April 28th, Ethan, Willie, and I, and possibly Danny, will be attending the multi-agency wildfire tabletop exercise at the school, where we'll go over some training and see what everybody's roles and responsibilities are in terms of all the organizations that would be involved. We did publish the March and April newsletter for the community junk cleanup weekends. We are looking for volunteers to help us to assist the seniors in our community and those with mobility issues. It will be an opportunity for any residential property owner to dispose of metal junk for free. And that will take place on June 13th and 14th and August 29th and 30th. So if you want to volunteer, even if you're just driving a truck and willing to use a truck or trailer, or you can just do it for one day, it would help very much. So I'd hope anybody and everybody would be willing to volunteer part of their time to help the community.
Do we have a list of people that need?
There's an applicant. If you read the newsletter, it refers to an application that I actually shared when I did it on the email distribution list. It's also on our website. There is a cleanup assistance application where people can apply for it and let us know. It's referred to in the newsletter.
Oh, okay.
But when I put it on the distribution list, I attached it as well.
Okay.
And I put a link to it in the Facebook post we did. So there is an application. They can call and get the application from us. And there they kind of give us their information, what it is they have to dispose of, what they need assistance with, in hopes of coming up with that list.
Good.
We're going to share it with public health too. And they'll also help us find who needs that kind of assistance. But that will correspond with the code enforcement push for litter and junk, which those first initial letters will be going out at the end of the month or beginning of May. And so, but with that, there'll be a little flyer in there letting people know they can take advantage of this, and that if they just need to extend the deadline to their notice of violation. I do mention the Board of Trustee training on May 20th, and Sursa will be doing on May 20th at 5 p.m. If there's anything specific that you want additional training about, please let me know, because I'm going to have them go over roles and responsibilities in a disaster, organizational structure, the liabilities that are, potential liabilities that we want to avoid.
When?
May 20th at 5 p.m. And then we already went over The other stuff, I've been in touch with Adam Smith with KBNF, who did the photovoltaic upgrade at the Round Top Communication Center. He's going to come back out here and just look at that equipment they installed. He's also going to look at our emergency broadcast system, the old one that can override the phone system or the radio, KBNF radio station, to see what needs to be repaired or replaced. Some of those parts are still from World War II. They're World War II era parts and from the 50s. And so I'm making a push to go get that fixed. And if we have to buy new equipment, we have money in the budget. But I think it's important as just a redundant communications system, especially in a disaster. And that's all I have. Does anybody have any questions? Woo. Sorry, I had burned through that.
Busy.
I had more. I just decided to put it off till later. Employee handbook review. We got a draft of that. Staff will be going over that and bouncing it back to the consultants helping us with that. And then I'm hoping by May 6th, we'll have a draft of that before the board. And then so that's something that we can start talking about, get one adopted sooner than later. All right, I'm done.
Okay, well, I just wanted to say I really appreciate the work you're putting into your newsletters. Yeah, they're getting almost,
She makes them pretty.
well,
Thanks.
I like the pictures. I like the pictures of that, but the key to it is the information. Because I
Yeah.
think it helps us and you keeping the town informed on what's going on and why.
Yeah.
And so I think it makes everybody's life a little bit easier. And, but thank you, you're doing a good job. They've come a long way from black and white to this.
Until wall.
I think somewhere here, we're gonna balance in the middle.
Uh-huh.
We can- Some graphics and mostly information.
Yeah.
I think you guys are doing a great job and appreciate it. Information is important. Okay, anybody have questions for Lex?
No, I appreciate all the work. A lot.
We will move on to the town engineer report. We just got that emailed to us
Yeah.
yesterday, I think. Anyways, once again, I appreciate the
Yeah.
pictures. Joanne, it makes it much,
I know, Joanne. I mean, yesterday, like the updated one, yes. So I think was it, because I forgot to put it in there. It was a giant agenda, but they got it. I just had to republish
Yeah, we got it.
and I was just complimenting you. I appreciate the pictures. You know, pictures worth 1,000 words, so we can see. I don't know if you've seen me, I've been doing drive-bys
She sees you.
in a good way.
Yeah.
But it's great to see all the action going on over there. And I mean, those,
moving.
yeah, those new pond, the one, man, it showed up in a day. They really moved.
Yeah.
Well, the one that's closest to the road, it was not much there, and it looked a lot better today, like it was
Yeah,
starting to
but
get
today
shaped and all
they've
that.
got the bottom on cell one to subgrade more or less.
Wow.
No, my only comment, and I'm just being sarcastic here, but the picture of the work on the solar tubes looks to me like three guys having lunch on the roof. Just, anyways, I'm sorry, Joanne. Let's go ahead and give us your report.
That is my report. And they're moving along little by little. They've decided to wait on the sludge in the holding pond and just try to get some berm. We can get the berm built up high enough, they can start doing some pipe work and maybe bring in a second crew, although I'm not optimistic.
Yeah.
I think we'll talk more about schedule in 2 weeks.
Yeah. It's going to take a little longer. It's going to take some more time. But
Yeah, well, I know you've been working hard and pushing it, so
Yeah.
we appreciate that. It was exciting to see the blowers finally arrived.
Yep.
And in the building. What day was those ordered?
That's what I was gonna ask.
Oh,
6 months before October or something. It was
Where were
like,
they in Pennsylvania? How long did it take them?
well,
no, they didn't. We ordered, I don't remember when we ordered them, but we ordered them and then it took like 3 months to get submittals. And then the submittal process took quite a while. And then once we approved the submittals, they issued them to get built in Germany. And then they missed the boat the end of the year. And so they didn't get to Pennsylvania till March or April, and then
Of last year.
of last year. And then they had to do the work to get them UL listed. Because they don't come from Germany, UL listed, and then they had to get them to here, and then in the end, they made a decision that we didn't want the expansion joint on the piping to tie the blower to the air pipe. And I said I did. And so those finally showed up yesterday.
Oh my God.
So I think next week probably we'll get them buttoned up. There's a pipe sticking up and a pipe sticking out. They're not at the same elevation, but they are intentionally sticking up higher so that we have some fudge.
It's been complicated.
All of the equipment has been complicated. I can't imagine. I mean, we took on the responsibility of ordering the equipment, and it saved about 20% on all of the equipment.
Which is huge.
Which is, yeah, I mean, it's over $1 million worth of equipment. But I can't imagine how Ridgeway Valley would have, or any general contractor would have dealt with all of the back and forth.
Yeah.
And so I think we made the right choice. It's been time consuming, it's taken forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, if anybody doesn't understand supply chain issues, perfect example.
Exactly.
We've just gone through it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's all sorts of supply chain issues going on.
Pretty cool.
We're dealing with the aeration equipment that'll go in the cells they're building now is coming from a firm in upstate New York, but their engineers were all from India. And after the election, they all went home. And so we're dealing with people that are, I don't know how many hours different from us, but almost half a day. Playing.
At least, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's all been very interesting.
She's a champ.
No kidding. I know that. I know that.
Yeah.
We definitely appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here for us.
You're welcome.
Any trustees have any questions or comments for Joanne? Well, thank you very much.
Yep.
I'll keep driving by.
Okay.
That's what
I'm
you
gonna
do.
get a camera so you can wave. I've got the camera, I just don't have it installed.
I'll let you know that. Thank you, Joanne.
You're welcome.
Okay, next is a legal update. Dan, you have anything for us?
Thank you, Mayor. I just briefly wanted to thank trustees Kendall and Lindsay for all their work. You guys were a pleasure to work with. Really always had the best intentions for the town. And I wanted to welcome the new trustee. And I will absolutely butcher your name, so I'm not even going to attempt until I hear it a couple more times. But thank you for handling the recusal well, and feel free to reach out if I can help you in any way.
Thank you. Hooked on phonics. It'll help you.
I think I'd be able to read, but
That was a Jesse joke.
Oh, okay.
Well, while we got you, any trustees have any questions for Dan? Yeah.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Dan. We appreciate you.
We do.
Okay, next is mayor trustee reports. Trustee Woods, you have anything to report?
Happier Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day.
You were gonna say it?
That's what I was gonna say. I have no report anymore.
Now he's pouting.
Trustee Bruce,
I have nothing.
welcome aboard.
Yeah.
You're here.
Yay, Kaylin.
We have an excellent staff. Any questions you have, anything you need, you can always call me, hunt me down, or speak with our representation.
Yeah.
All right. Boy, you guys are awfully quiet. Sorry it's a long meeting, but it is 2 pages.
I know, 'cause
It's long.
Zoom really protested because we usually don't go that late. So it said, we're shutting down. You know?
Okay, our next item is correspondence received. There was a letter in there, hope y'all read them. One from Jared Boyd, regarding, our municipal code in regards to mobile home, resident district performance standards. Lex, do you have anything you want to?
I mean, just in his letter, he's pointing out that there's RVs parked year round, more or less, at the RV parks, which our code does say that they're only allowed to park there for 30 weeks at a time. And that code was written back when it was a mobile home district where the RVs were kind of secondary to the mobile homes. And so, yeah, it does say that in our code. I know that some of the parks do get paid to store those RVs there year round. I mean, it's definitely something that we should look at that part of the code. It's always better if people operating within compliance of it. Does it make sense to have that still in our code? Or how do we want to approach that? I know that with the higher sewer rates, that is something that's helping them afford the higher sewer rates is by charging that, I guess, storage or whatever. I don't know what kind of fee it is, or if it's a monthly rent, whatever it is. But so it's definitely something that's happening. It's been happening for a long time. That we should circle back and discuss that and see how.
And it doesn't hurt anything. It's been that way, like you said, for a long time.
Well, do you want me to put this on a future agenda item? May 6th is already getting pretty full already.
Well,
I don't want to have another 2.5 hour meeting.
Henry?
It says at the bottom of his letter, the attached document, there's no document attached.
What?
Yeah, I noticed that too.
I think it was a copy of the ordinance, but it wasn't in my packet.
I apologize.
So was there something attached?
I believe it was the code. I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jared, but I think it was the code itself. And I mean, we can put this on a future discussion item. And I'll provide that. I apologize.
No, I appreciate Jared bringing that to our attention. I don't think it was anybody did anything on purpose. There's a lot of things we've learned as we're trying to straighten out the town. That's just the way it's always been.
Right.
So, I think it's something we can take a look at and address. I believe it's something we can work out. But yeah, I think it's something we should look at in the future. At this state of the year, it's not an emergency because the summer is right around the corner. And so, but I think it's something we should look at. I think we can find a workable solution, a win-win somehow for everybody. Jared, I noticed you're with us. Do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, you guys covered it for now. Thanks.
Okay, thank you for your correspondence. Okay, our next item is the Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Management announces a mitigation funding opportunity, FEMA Building Resilient Infrastructure in Communities, BRIC, for fiscal years 2024 and 2025.
Yeah. They did announce this. It's only like $2 million for Colorado. And I have set up a question up the chain because we had a 2023 award that we were doing the flood and debris mitigation plan for the Ball Flats and Ocean Wave.
Right.
And so I asked, I was like, well, hey, we already had one from 2023. Are they going to reinstitute that?
Because they did away with it, right?
They did. And I think they fired all the people that were actually helping us. But, is that something where, do we have to apply for that all over again? Is there a free technical assistance part like we received because it was not, financial?
Right.
So I've asked and I'm waiting for an answer.
Well, it'd be nice because I know they put in some work and I hope that didn't all get thrown away.
No, they did. They sent us what they did have, which did help us with our grant application with the state to get the wastewater treatment plant backup generator. It actually did assist in that application. So we did get something out of it, just not the full project scoping of the ball flags.
Is there any way that we could get help for some of the people that live up at Lake City Heights to provide defensible spaces around their houses?
I mean, I could look at it. Something that staff has actually been thinking about is that water tower up there. We've counted trees that are within 100 feet because that's a good defensible space. And I was going to bring this to the board, but we're going to start communications with Tri-State, who owns the land east and south of the water tower, and then the property owner to the north, to see if we can't get permission to remove some of those trees near our water tower to give it a defensible space. That what little money is out there, Henry, is very, very competitive. And I have trepidation about going after federal money. Is because that I've heard other communities who have had trouble or there's long reimbursement times. There was a community that was affected by the floods in 2013, and they were promised $12 million by the federal government. And well, $5 million of it is still waiting to be reimbursed from a decade ago.
I know.
So, yeah, well, $5 million, a portion of it has been reimbursed, but not all of it.
Right.
And now they're just saying there's not going to be reimbursements for now because they defunded it. But so I have reservations about applying for federal money, especially with all the strings attached, and then we don't know if it's going to be there next year. You know,
We benefited from it before, right?
We like since I've been here in this office, since I've been in office, we did temporarily, but then it got cut off after the election last year. So that program was defunded. So, anyways, that was something that was supposed to be sent to boards. I sent it to you guys. There's a little bit of money there. I have reservations about applying for it. If we do find something that's a good match and is highly competitive, sure, maybe we do apply for it.
We trust your decision,
Yeah.
right?
And then we already went over, well, I still got to get your approval for that kind of stuff. So, and then we already went over the Housing Colorado Eagle Award nomination thing as well.
Yeah, on that one, I just wanted to say thank you to Sarah. She's with Western Spaces.
Yeah.
And she's the one that nominated us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's great. You know, it can't hurt the more eyes you got on our project.
Yeah, and then
better.
Who's gonna go?
I'm going to go, and then someone else. It may be Michelle Pierce or Richard Pilgrimsgrud is someone who's super interested in going and want to help network with all the developers and funders.
Perfect.
You know, that would be fine. This is also one of the other consultants said, yeah, this is kind of like the pre-conference for the big conference, the 2-day conference in October, where the Housing Colorado, the Department of Housing, CHAPA, all the funders and developers meet for a conference in October, which I'm thinking that it would be good if we do this on June 11th. We should go do that to follow up and reaffirm some of those relationships, and then try to, pitch our project as we have a better idea of how much it's going to cost and what it's going to look like.
I did tell Mike that I'd be willing to make room for it if it felt it would be helpful for the mayor to be there. I think maybe in this first one, it could be best somebody that's on that team working on that project. You just let me know how that works out.
Yeah.
And maybe, if it benefits the town, I'm happy to go in October.
Okay.
Meet some of those people, but it's great. I think that's very kind of.
I had one more thing that I forgot. That
Okay.
So on May 7th and 8th, there is the Developers Toolkit conference, I guess, or it's a workshop held by the Department of Housing. That I got the last ticket to go to that, but that's where they're teaching and showing people workshops on how to build affordable housing, rental housing. So I will be attending that. I may be able to get us another free ticket or possibly a paid ticket to see if Michelle or Richard would want to go to that as well. I think it's important for us to kind of get all of our information and network lined up for when we really make the big push to try to build something.
I agree.
Okay. Nothing else on that? All right, our next item is additions to the agenda. And let's mention.
Yeah, but then when we approve the agenda, that's when we would add it.
Okay.
And this is where we would consider it, so let's just push it to May 6th.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's in regards to the yard.
Yeah.
That needed to be in the park, and everybody was on board with that, so it was just a matter of making it formal.
My wife is a hardcore sewer. She's got a stack of those squares of yarn already made or about that tall. And she just sits there and makes them. She don't even have to look. I mean, so she says, I'm using old yarn, so just getting rid of it, using it to this purpose. So.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, we don't hold them up, but Lex, you explained to me that you had talked to them.
I let them know.
Okay.
They can make them, they can still make them. So they're approved in spirit, but not by action, so.
Okay, never mind. Okay. All the meetings aren't this long, just.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
This is where we get her
Except for
here.
the next 5 meetings.
Action items. Everybody ready? Put on your seatbelt.
Okay.
Number one, discussion of possible action to approve dynamic funding LLC conditional use permit housing application to allow 2 buildings to contain 8 units for the Lake Park Housing Project located at 700 North.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Bruce,
Yes.
Tripsano,
Yes.
Winery,
Yes.
Woods,
Yes.
Least,
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes. Next item, discussion of possible action to set May 20th, 2026 at 7 PM or as close thereafter as possible as a public hearing date and the time to receive public comment on the adoption of the Colorado Wildfire Resiliency Code.
Jeez.
Need a second.
Thank you.
You need to do some of these, Nathan.
He does.
Well, she's learning, but you.
Yeah,
She'll make you can make a motion, you can make a second, you can have comments. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Anyways, any other discussion? I won't bring it up.
Yeah.
Hearing none, roll call vote.
Bruce.
Yes.
Tripsano,
Yes.
Winery,
Yes.
Woods,
Yes.
Least, yes, Roberts.
Yes. Our next item is discussion and possible action to appoint a trustee as mayor pro tem. We have now have a board set. Any trustees that would like to put their name in the hat for that, they can.
Thank you. I'm going to continue.
Okay.
Can I make a motion to appoint Diane Bruce as mayor pro tem?
I second.
You sure can.
Thanks, Henry.
I think.
Anybody else want to put their name in the hat? Okay.
What is
All
that?
right. We have
The mayor
a
pro tem. So the mayor pro tem is, sits in for the mayor when the mayor is not present. The mayor pro tem is also a signatory for when signing checks and certain documents and things. Like she was the one that certified the election with the election officer. It's just, yeah, it sits in for the mayor when the mayor is absent. And also is a co-signer of things. Yeah, with and attends attorney reviews and helps develop the agenda. And if you do have something that you would like on the agenda, let me know or let the mayor know. And then it really, and then we can figure out on how to put it on if you want to discuss it.
And if it matters, I'm in full support of that. Diane's been doing it. She does a great job. I appreciate the way she reads all the materials. When we have questions, we can discuss things. Anyways, I think she's done a great job, and I would support that. We have a motion and a second. Okay. Any other discussion? Now roll call vote.
Bruce
Yes.
and Tripsland,
Yes.
Henry,
Yes.
Woods,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
and Roberts.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, discussion of possible action to appoint Christina Bowman as the town clerk, town treasurer, and municipal court clerk.
So moved.
Second. Motion second. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Bruce.
Yes.
Tripsano.
Yes.
Winter.
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Weiss.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes. Had a couple other jobs for her, but, you know.
Yeah.
Discussion and possible action to appoint Tina Caniglio as the deputy clerk and clerk of the board of trustees.
So moved.
All right, so Bruce.
I second.
Okay, Winter second.
Any discussion? I would just say, I think that's gonna be great, and she will be attending our meetings for us and doing Lex's job and running Zoom. And I think that'll be nice to have some of those here and to help with those minutes and everything. So, thank you, Tina, for your willingness. Roll call vote.
Bruce.
Yes.
Tripson.
Yes.
Winter.
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Weiss.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes. Discussion and possible action to appoint James McDonald as the municipal judge.
So moved.
Second.
In a second, just so you know, for town court and all that, Jim McDonald is our town judge. He also is a judge for the county. So, but this is just an annual thing where we have to appoint that person to serve as our judge.
And not annual, but like after every election.
Oh, I'm sorry.
With the new board, these positions would need to be appointed.
Were there ever any other candidates?
There could be, with Jim, his contract ends in August. So at that point, we could do an RFP if we wanted to. We had done a couple before when he was hired. He's the only one that applied because we're in the middle of nowhere and he happens to have a house here. So that helps a lot. So yes, the board can decide, they can fire any of these people that are appointed. They can't really fire my employees, but the clerk of the board part, they could appoint whoever they wanted, really. Go ahead, Henry.
No, you finish.
So these are appointments that are made after every election. And yes, the board has the right to not appoint someone or to ask to put out requests for professional services, like for an attorney or a judge. That is absolutely up to you. I was just, if y'all want to do that, we can. I would just, this made the most sense at the time I was writing.
No, I think the people we have in these positions, it's working. So, go ahead.
So now can I make a motion to?
I believe we had a motion and a second already.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I just wanted to have a little discussion.
Uh,
I was just wanting, you know,
Heard it.
Karen to understand why we do it. Okay, roll call vote.
Bruce.
Yes.
Tripasano.
Yes.
Wintery.
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Weiss. Roberts.
Yes.
I don't know about this next one, you know?
Discussion and possible action to appoint Daniel Prob as the town attorney.
So moved.
Seconds.
Who seconded? Henry. Okay.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Man, this could be a lot of fun, but the meeting's going on too long. So-
I know.
Yeah.
You guys sure you don't want to put this one out for bid?
Don't leave us now.
Yeah, don't leave us now.
Before he changes his mind, roll call vote.
Bruce.
Yes.
Tripasano.
Yes.
Wintery.
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Weiss.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Yay.
Thank you again.
Thank you, guys.
And we'll be swearing you in at the next one.
Okay.
Okay, discussion and possible action to appoint town manager Alexander Mulhall as an additional deputy clerk and deputy municipal court clerk.
So moved. Second.
Thank you.
Good job.
Is that just a science stuff or?
What?
Like just a backup?
We'll back up if they're both out sick or they're both at a conference and there's court and I can go to.
Also, that way he can take minutes if Tina's
Yeah.
out or something. There's
Right.
you can have an appointed clerk taking the minutes.
Yeah.
And ironically, a couple of years ago, he was doing all the jobs anyway, so I know he knows how to do it. Okay?
Yeah, there was 5 titles there. Yeah.
So we had a motion.
Yep. Yes, we
Okay,
did.
well, any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Bruce.
Yes.
Tripasano.
Yes.
Wintery.
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Weiss.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes. Discussion and possible action to declare a vacancy on the Board of Trustees and to direct staff to advertise for letters of interest to fill the vacancy from May 1st through May 15th, 2026.
Premature, but so moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Bruce,
Yes.
Trusano,
Yes.
Winter,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
East,
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes. And finally, discussion and possible action to approve ordinance 2026-04 vacating the alley south of Highway 149 on Block 12.
So.
Oh, she got the second. Aha.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I want to get my 2 cents worth in for make it official in the meeting, so it's in the minutes. That I really don't think we should ever give away town property without getting something in return. And I think that there's a wonderful chance there to get fishing access. And so I wish we could delay this and try to negotiate the fishing access and with a lease on the north part of 8th Street and vacating the alley. Because it's not right just to give away town.
This isn't.
Okay.
I believe your wishes will come true, Henry, and I will try with all my might to negotiate.
Okay. I just wanted that to be on the record in the minutes.
Okay. Appreciate that. Landon, did you have a comment?
I would just like to say that I am also against giving town property away, but in this case, it has been handled properly. It was supposed to happen a long time ago. And there's no use for the town and there's a liability for the town. I do not have a problem with this instance.
And I do believe we're all on the same page. The town is not in the business of disposing of any other property. It is so limited as is, and we don't have that much. But just make it very clear, this was a special case. I appreciate you stating that. And Trustee Woods, just so you know, I don't plan on us ever getting rid of any other property unless it's something with strange circumstances like this. But
Right on.
so we're all on the same page on that. Any other discussion? That's your hand still up?
No, I have something to say after we do the roll call vote.
Roll call vote.
Bruce.
Yes.
Trusano.
Yes.
Winter.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
East.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
And we're going to be closed 8 a.m. to noon on Monday to do grant training for the staff. Just want to let you know. Yeah,
Okay.
I should have said that earlier.
I need to ask a question.
Go ahead.
Am I still appointed to the Gunnison Basin Roundtable and
Well, we're going to,
San Cristobal?
We haven't done.
on May 6th at the next meeting, we're going to do appointments. And you love this, and I doubt anyone's going to take them.
No.
And you've done a good job of it.
Yes.
We appreciate the job that you do. Okay, with no other business before the board, meeting is adjourned.
Good night,
everyone.
Wow.